Hey guys, thanks for coming to watch episode 2, and we're really sorry that this episode is a little bit late, but there have been certain things that have been out of our control, and to make sure that we are producing the quality content we want and that you expect of us, we decided to delay the episode to give you that quality. Thanks for sticking around and watching.
Hey there, listeners. I'm Tom.
And I'm James, and you're listening to World on Stream.
Hey, James.
Hi Tom, how you doing?
This is the second episode of our podcast.
Oh my god, it feels even better this week.
That's pretty crazy.
We've doubled how many we did last week, and we're now on 2.
We are indeed. I've got a question for you.
Oh yeah, go on.
Imagine you're walking down a street, right?
Yeah.
It's a normal street, a street that you know quite well.
Yeah, I got it.
You're walking down it, and in the street you see it's you, but younger. It's you, but like 11.
Oh,
Okay, just in
yeah.
the street. Oh, it's 10 o'clock.
It's 10 o'clock.
So it's you, but it's younger,
Yeah.
like 10 years old,
Oh my god.
and beating them up is you, but older, like 30.
What, like, really?
Yeah, just beating them up.
Oh,
You just see it in the street.
yeah.
Your older self beating up your younger self. Do you get involved? What do you do? Do you join in? Do you defend your younger self? Do you just walk by?
Oh my god. Well, I don't even know where to start. Do I have memories of someone beating me up as an 11-year-old?
No,
No.
no way.
So that would suggest that I had intervened at this current stage? No, because it would have. I don't even know. No, I think I'd just leave it.
You just walk by.
Yeah, I'd just be like, oh, what a fun day. And just keep
Yeah,
going.
me too.
Why?
So I thought of this the other day. I can't remember why, and I asked some of my flatmates,
Yeah.
and one of them said that she would go home and have a nap because she'd assumed she was hallucinating.
That's a legit answer.
And then the other one was like, he'd stop beating up the kid as well, the younger him. He'd join in.
Was that who I think it was?
That was Will.
Yeah, I thought it would be
Yeah.
him. He seems
He
like
said he'd start beating up his younger self.
Did he give any
because
reasons? Oh,
Older you has obviously mastered time travel enough to come back to today and also bring past you to today.
Oh.
So they obviously understand a lot more about time travel than you do.
See,
So know what they're doing.
yeah, so wouldn't that be more reason just to let him get on with it and then you not meddle? 'Cause
Oh, I
if
don't
you
know. He's
meddle with
probably
it-
got a good reason to beat up young you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'd probably beat up young me. Hey Tom, I've got a counter question for you.
Okay.
Do you know how many times your mouth goes every time you speak and how long it takes to edit that out? Because I know how long it
Tough.
takes.
Tough tomatoes. I've got my I'm recording slightly differently today, so I think it should automatically take those out.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
I set a threshold for noise
Oh, yeah. That's what I did all the way through.
this time,
That's cool.
so it should be easier.
You're lagging a lot today, though, but I think we'll
Am
be
I?
fine. Yeah.
My Audacity feed doesn't seem to be.
No, that's fine. As long as that's okay, we can do it. Okay, should we move on? There's been some stuff that's been going on this week, other than you posing weird hypothetical questions to your flatmates and probably scaring them quite a bit. There's been loads that's been going on.
What's gone on this week?
Well, I've been doing loads. I've been really busy doing loads of musical stuff. My and the things I've got written down that we've done this week are so depressing. I'll just
Oh no.
4 things that I've highlighted to talk about that has happened this week. One of them was Total Biscuit dying.
Yeah, he did.
The other was watching your stream with Will, which I thought was great. I was loving every second of it. I want you to do it again.
Yeah.
Because that was really
We
good.
probably will at some point.
If you do, you gotta tell me because I'll watch it because I loved it. And then the other 2 were me watching the Royal Wedding Bad Lip Reading, which I thought was absolutely amazing. I think that's the best one.
Oh,
yet.
I haven't watched it. I
I'd
didn't watch
watch
the
it.
Royal Wedding either.
Really? Oh, I didn't watch the Royal Wedding. That was ages ago, isn't it? No.
It was a while back.
Um, the fourth item, because we're playing a load of Fortnite. Me and George sat out on Fortnite. Not literally, we were shooting some people and stuff, but we were talking about new items we would add to the game, and that has been one of my highlights of the week. We,
One of your highlights of the week was a conversation with George.
yeah, I know. And
That's riveting.
I promised him I'd mention it on the podcast. I've fulfilled the
Well,
promise.
there you go. You did. It's mentioned. I've since last week when we recorded, I've done another play.
Oh yeah.
I've watched a bunch of plays. I went to an arts festival.
Oh my God.
I auditioned for another play and got it. And I've seen Solo. That was good. I liked
Yeah,
Solo.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm pretty
It's
jealous.
good. You should go watch it. It's actually really 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 good. It's probably in my top five Star Wars films.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. I really hated Rogue One though, and I'm worried that it's that,
it's not similar to Rogue One.
but it's like a kind of a spin-offy type Star Wars
I
based
mean, for
story.
one thing, hating Rogue One is just incorrect. You're just wrong for doing
I
that.
don't hate it. I just didn't like
And
it.
it's a very different feel and style to Solo. I really loved Solo. I really, actually, really, really enjoyed Solo. There was some stuff in it that was a little bit like, oh, that's unfortunate. Um,
Unfortunate how? Like as in,
the kind of chronic problem that Star Wars has with
uh,
droid sentience, and that
oh,
whole issue of is it slavery because droids very clearly do have feelings
oh,
and can feel pain and stuff like that.
shit.
Um,
Is
that
C-3PO a
is
slave?
pretty similar in Solo, if not a bit worse. One of the characters. I don't want to spoil anything, but
No, please don't, because I will watch it. I don't know much about it. It's been kept very hush hush.
well, it's not making any flipping money, which is a pain
No,
in the
it's
butt because it's
flopped,
great.
isn't it? I did see that. Well, it's because I didn't go to see it. That's why. I would have brought all the money in.
Yeah,
Should we move on? I think we've had a riveting conversation about this week.
we have. Should we move on to the album?
Yeah, let's do the album.
Okay. So I suggested the album for this week, and the album that I suggested was "Professional Rapper" by Lil Dicky.
Yeah,
I suggested that because James hates any music that's not
not
jazz
jazz.
or classical,
That's
um,
true.
and this is an album that I quite like. I'm not super into rap, but I do like this album. And I thought it was going to be a bit more kind of middle ground in a way
Yeah,
for James.
yeah. I tried. I really tried going in with an open mind. Like I tried really fucking hard.
So we'll go through it song by song again, and then at the
There's
end do a
so many songs though.
at the end there's 20 on it, but I mean there's 20 tracks on it, but I feel like the interludes don't
Yeah,
count.
they
So
were
there's four
weird.
interludes, they don't count. Um, we only need to say a little bit on each song, give a score for the song and a little bit maybe. So the first song on the album is eponymous to the album. It's called Professional Rapper. It's got Snoop Dogg on it. What did you think of Professional Rapper, the
This
song?
this was my favorite one of the whole album. I
Yeah.
think I gave this a 7.5. Um, I
Okay.
really liked it. I did what you said, and I was reading the lyrics as I was going through, and I was trying
Yeah.
to focus on the lyrics as opposed to kind of like the music, as it were, behind it and stuff. I thought it was really funny. I liked the whole little interview saying. That was my favorite bit about it. The way it was
I've
set.
also written I really like the interview style of this one,
Yeah,
and I think it's a great intro to Lil Dicky's style.
yeah.
Uh,
That did set me up for what was
I
to
gave it
come.
an 8.5.
Wow, holy cow.
Uh, I like that song a lot. I think it's very funny,
Yeah,
but also quite genuine. I think that it is one of the most genuine songs on the album, and kind of it does feel like he really does love what he's doing in that one.
yeah. I liked Snoop in it. I thought he was good.
Yeah, it is a funny one.
Yeah, I think that's why I liked it so much.
So the next song was Who Knew.
Yep.
I gave it a 6.
Really? I
Yeah,
gave it a 4.5.
yeah.
It was just more rap, wasn't it? Yeah, I put here it was more typical rap. Definitely
Yeah,
not as good as the last one.
yeah. No, I don't really love it. The in a way, the message of it is seems to be him trying to kind of shake off the image that he's this
Yeah,
like white boy rapper, but that's so integral to his style of performance and the message of the other songs that it just seems weird to me that he'd make a song about not wanting to be that when the whole album is about him being that.
yeah. I think he's hit a nice niche though with the whole
Yeah, exactly. I
comedic
mean, that's what
rapper.
he says, isn't it? In professional rapper,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that
That's
is
his.
his target.
Yeah. It's a ground that no one's got covered, and now he's covered it. I think he's done a good job of doing that. Anyway, let's move on to Let Me Freak.
Lemmy Freak.
Let Me Freak.
What did you think of Lemmy Freak?
I really liked it. I gave it a
Yeah,
6.5. It was good. I've got
I gave it
some
a seven.
a 7. We gave similar scores on this one. This is good. I put some really weird notes down that I'm just going over. I put it's rap about in it and then in commas normal things. 'Cause-
Yeah, it is, and that's very much kind of Lil Dicky what he does.
yeah, it's good.
It is. I've written a great example of his storytelling
Yeah, it was. I've for
and
some
really funny.
yeah for some reason I got a quote down here and I've got
Yeah,
the quote is, "That's a little erection," and that's the quote. I don't know what that means.
yeah. Well, that's from the verse. My flatmate Will also really likes this album.
Yeah.
He likes Lil Dicky a lot,
Hmm.
uh, and likes rap as well. He doesn't like this song because he says the last verse gets too real, which is where the "that's a little erection" comes from. Because that
Oh,
last verse is when he's
it's him being
rapping
old, isn't it?
about him being really old and trying to bang his wife when he's really old and about to die. uh, yeah, so he doesn't like it because it's too real. The next track is "Let Me Freak for Real" though,
The
and it's crap.
outro. Oh,
1 out of 10.
really?
I hate it.
Oh, I
I
gave
hate
it
it.
a.
I don't see the point. It just goes on and on and on, and there's no. It's just him speaking basically with a voice modulate, and I hate it.
Oh dear. Oh, I gave it a 6.5.
Well then.
I thought it was a nice follow on. I liked it. I did put though it was best before 2 minutes. But then I put the end is hilarious, so I don't really know what I was going for, whether I liked the beginning or the end. I think maybe it was just the middle I
Maybe
didn't
you just
like.
hated the middle.
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, I thought it was a nice follow on. But it wasn't a standout bit of the album, though, was it?
No.
Yeah. White Crime.
Next one, White Crime.
Um, I got here more typical rap in style, but not in lyrics. I'd say I've put it just annoyed me a bit. I gave it a 5.5. I kind of remember it. I don't really. I think it was just a kind of. It was on. It wasn't. It wasn't standing out for me. It wasn't doing anything. It's just in the
Uh
middle.
huh.
It wasn't annoying me, but I wasn't like, oh yeah, I could listen to this usually.
Yeah, I gave this a 6.6 and a half.
Hmm.
I think that what this is for is to kind of satirize, in a way, your traditional rap, where they're all about kind of breaking rules and stuff like that. And he's talking about, well, yeah, the rules that he breaks are the really crappy, like
Oh yeah.
upper class, middle class rules. Um, and that's the kind of. But it just, the lyrically, he is talented. His rhythm of performing is very impressive, but the songs themselves don't have much going on behind his rap. There's nothing else to them really. That's what I've got for this one. Is it's just it's not. It'd be nice to have more of them where they're a bit more like instrumentally interesting. There's just a bit more
Yeah.
going on in the
Yeah.
accompaniment.
I think I definitely agree with that. I'd like a bit more of that.
And I wrote that one under this one because I think there's a spate, and because the next one was Molly.
Molly, yeah. I like this
What did you
one.
think of
I
Molly?
liked it a lot. I like Brendan Urie being in it. I don't really know much about Brendan Urie, but I know he's quite a good singer technically, as in like his technical skills of singing are quite good. I really liked this one. I gave it a 7. The chorus I much preferred to the rap, like the main. It's quite a big chorus, wasn't it, with Brendan singing? I really liked
Hmm.
it. I thought it was good. I thought
This
it
is one of my nines.
really. Thought it would be. This is one I had
Yeah.
down. I think I know the other one.
One reason for that is that I am a massive Panic fan.
Mm,
Um, I do like Brendan Urie a lot, but yeah, I think this one it's the most probably complex in a way song on the
Yeah,
album, which I
yeah, yeah,
like. It's
yeah.
the most similar to a normal song, um, and I really like the kind of I like what he's talking about. You know, it feels very real. It's sad. It's obviously is a life experience that is quite integral to who Lil Dicky is, who David Byrd is as a person. Um, but also, you know, it's fun to listen to. It's easy to listen to.
Yeah, I think I
Uh,
agree. I think that it was really good. I didn't like it as much as Professional Rapper, but it's definitely my second favorite on this album. I thought it was really, really good.
the next song is Bruh. What were your thoughts on Bruh?
I gave it 5. I think I was getting really annoyed at this point, because all these scores look really low. It was still funny. It wasn't overly funny. It wasn't as funny as the others. And I've got a quote here that he used no hetero instead of no homo, which I liked. I think I boosted my score by 1 because of that. But I think that's it really. Just a bit of a middle ground one.
This is my other 9. This is my
You're
favorite song on the album.
what? No, this is your 9.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
I really really like this one. The rhythm where it's just the like drumsticks slapping together for the whole thing because it's not pretending to be anything else. It is just the rhythm and the beat. It's almost more spoken word than rap in a way, and it's super funny. It's it displays his talent as a performer, as a rapper, because
Hmm.
you know there's no break for a hook or a chorus, and it's a long song. I think it's like 4 minutes long, which for him to just be talking throughout the whole thing without any repeated sections is pretty impressive. And the different he's constantly changing the flow and the rhythm all the way through. It never just sticks to one rhythmic structure,
Yeah.
but it flows really well still anyway. And it's got some really really clever funny lines. I'm trying to get blue in most states like Barack. It's one that
Yeah.
I liked.
Yeah, I kind
That
of
was pretty
remember that
funny.
line. I don't know if I
Take a
remember it.
chickpea and smash. That's a
Yeah.
favorite of me and Will. We say that one out loud a lot.
Wow,
It's
you're
just I
just
really really
too
like it.
cool.
Like we'll play it. We'll play the song in the kitchen sometimes. We use it to we play them to annoy teens because she can't hear words in songs.
Oh, I
Apparently,
thought you meant like
she's just incapable of hearing lyrics. She just
wow.
never knows what anyone's saying. Yeah.
I bet she's hopeless in a musical or an opera. I think everyone's hopeless in an opera though. I can't believe you
Yeah.
actually.
But yeah,
That
I love
surprised
Bruh.
me. That one surprised me a lot. I didn't expect that coming from you. Next one, that's called Hannibal Interlude. No,
Yeah, I mean, I didn't review that one. I don't know who Hannibal Buress is.
no,
I'm
no, I
gonna
don't.
Google him. Let's see.
I did put it just feels pointless. I gave it a
Yeah,
4.5 if
I
that
assume
helps.
it's some guy. It's an American stand-up comedian, actor, activist, writer, and producer. Um,
Right. Because it was all about advice for LD, the
yeah,
boy LD. Do you want to save that money? I want to save that money.
yep. I like Save That Money.
Did you?
I gave it a 7.
Well, I give it a 3.
Have you? You should watch the music video for it.
You only told me to watch Pillow Talking in my defense. Thank you.
I did. You're right. The the music video for Save That Money, they didn't spend a penny on it, but they managed to make it into a like it looks like a normal rap video where it's like overproduced and like in fancy houses and stuff,
Yeah.
and the music video is almost a documentary in the making of itself. It's pretty cool.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I have
Uh,
bad experiences with music videos.
I don't know. I like it. I don't know rap. I don't know rappers. So the two he has two people feature in it, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Fetty Wap and someone else.
I've heard of him.
But I don't really know. I don't know who they are, so I couldn't.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Um,
Um,
yeah, I don't think I liked it because I think I had the same problem as your flatmate. I just didn't understand one of the verses. I just couldn't hear any words. It just sounded like gibberish. I think it was the second verse. I presume it wasn't Lil Dicky because I can understand everything he says most of the time.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's one I'd heard before actually. It just
yeah. I just think it's a pretty funny one.
no, just a bit rubbish for me.
Uh,
Oh well.
oh well. it's pretty chill. It's
Yeah,
not anything fancy.
yeah. I've got
Again, if I
nothing.
in a way I almost listen to them instead of like songs, I listen to them like poetry, or spoken word or something like that. And so
Yeah.
this one, it's another one that's quite good for that. It's just if you've got it on, then the rhythm and is quite relaxing. But
Yeah, it's I
yeah, there's nothing
yeah,
special about it. I give it like
nothing.
a 6.5.
Give it a 4. That's bad. Personality?
I like personality.
Yeah. I
I think it's funny.
yeah, I got lyrics are funny. That's
I think T-Pain's really funny at the end.
T-Pain. I don't remember the
Apparently, I
ending.
wrote down.
I don't remember the
Uh,
ending at
but
all.
basically, the song is about being a nice guy, isn't it? A
Yeah,
nice
yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah.
TM.
I put the music was bad. I got obviously got quite annoyed with
Yeah,
that.
I've also put that. I've said it feels a bit like too much, a bit flustered.
Yeah, yeah.
I think there was just a bit much going on.
Moving on to pillow talking. I thought this would be your other 9.
I really like Pillow Talking, but I've only got it as an 8. I think it's a bit too long to be a
Yeah,
nine,
it goes
like
on.
a 9. It is. It does go on a long time. The intro, I'm not too. I don't really have any thoughts on. It's just a bit bland.
Hmm.
But obviously this one again, it's poetry rather than rap. It's a funny poem
Yeah, yeah. I think I agree with you on that.
that he's put to music.
I think I liked it. I only gave it a 6, but I think that's because I was getting a bit bogged down with the whole album. But looking back
Hmm
on it now, I'd probably give it a little bit higher. But I like the whole conversational style a bit as well.
But and even though it's a conversation, it still flows
Yeah, yeah,
as
yeah,
a
yeah, which works
piece.
nicely.
Yeah, I like that as well. I like
Well, it's
that
the
a lot.
same with as in professional rapper, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
it just works so nicely, and the lyrics just bounce off each other. I think it was good. But it did go on, didn't it?
it does go on a very long time. But it is really funny. The concept behind the song is very funny.
Oh yeah,
You know,
I thought yeah, I'd never
the
heard
like late
anything
night
else
discussion.
rap about that.
Yeah, exactly.
It was good,
Uh,
but this is the
you know,
one that I gave
apparently
it for.
he's got a TV show
Wait,
soon.
David Bird or Lil
Yeah.
Dicky? Which one?
Well,
I know they're both the
I'd
same, but
I'd feel like it's not really a like a person like a what do you call it
like an Ali G, Sacha Baron Cohen thing.
persona.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's just his name as a performer. I don't think it's like a persona that he puts on.
Should we move on? The next one was weird. It was parental advisory. That was the little chatty bit with the family, wasn't it?
Yeah, I like those interludes.
Oh, they just annoyed me.
I think that I mean I've put my notes on those when talking about it as a whole album, so I won't go into it now. So next is Classic Male Pregame, which is the first Lil Dicky song I ever heard, I think, and
Really?
it's nothing. It's not amazing, but I just think it's funny again. I've given it a 6.
Give it a 3. I thought it was awful. It really annoyed me. I don't know why. It just got on my
That's because not only do
nerves.
you hate rap, you also hate people having fun and drinking alcohol. So
That is very true.
it's not gonna appeal to you.
I hate fun. Fun's just rubbish.
The Antagonist I hate. I don't like it. I like the first one better than I like Antagonist 2, but I think the whole message
Yeah,
behind it is just super dumb. It's super dumb for both of them.
yeah,
There's nothing special going on about the song. He's complaining. Basically, Antagonist is him saying, "Oh, I'm so angry that it's been so easy for me to get here."
yeah,
I don't care. Shut the hell up. I don't care.
yeah, yeah. I think I agree. I gave them a 3 and a 2 because I just thought they were
I give it a 5 and a
boring.
3. I think I'm
Wow.
just reticent to give low scores, really. But yeah,
Yeah,
if I'm listening to if I'm listening to the album, if either of those comes on, I skip it. I'm just
yeah.
not. I
It's
just don't
just
really like them.
seems a bit pointless. Yeah. The next one was a bit of an interlude bit again.
Work paid for that.
Work. Yeah. Oh God.
I bet you hated this one.
I don't. My notes are it's all just shit. 2 out of 10. So I think
I
you're
gave this a
right.
7.
Oh my
I think it's
God.
really funny up until the end, and at the end it gets really weird.
I can't remember the end at all. Truman. Right, my
Um,
only notes on
yeah,
this
Truman is the
were
last song.
yeah, that was it. That was my notes.
What did you
That
write?
it was the last song, and that was it. Made it to the end. 4 out of 10.
It's a good wrap up of the
Yeah,
album.
it was okay.
The actual rap bit is okay. I can see what he's saying.
Hmm.
He says it well because he is a good rapper, but there's nothing special going on. It's not that funny, and the outros just go on for ages, and I don't care.
Yeah, 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 yeah. They
I can see
do.
why he's doing it because the album was crowdfunded. It's his first album, and so he was just kind of saying thank you to the people that have helped him get to where he is. But
I didn't realize it
um,
was crowdfunded. How was it?
yeah, it was kickstarted. The album was kickstarted.
Really?
Yeah,
That's a bit unusual for an album, isn't
well, because he's kind of as a funny rapper, he kind of started doing stuff, EPs and stuff online and stuff like that.
it? Oh, so he
So
kind of
then
had
for
like
this
a
to be his
fan
full
base.
album to
Yeah,
pay for production and stuff like that, he kickstarted it, I believe.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. It was an okay album overall, I
Yeah, I
think.
gave it a 6. It's all right. So for the whole thing, what I wrote was it's definitely designed to be listened to as a whole package,
Yeah,
but I think I prefer listening to individual songs than listening to it as the whole package. Like it's obviously is written so that the order comes in and you've got the interludes and stuff. And I like the interludes. I think that's fun. I think it just being literal recorded conversations with his parents while on tour. I think it's really funny. It's a glimpse of his family life, and it is funny to imagine other rappers having those conversations.
yeah.
I gave the overall album, the whole thing, a 7, but to be honest, I think it's probably closer to a 6. There are
Mm.
songs that I do really like. I like Pillow Talking, I like Molly, I like Bruh, and others as well. But
I think
there are also a lot of songs on it that I just don't care about.
yeah, yeah, I think you're right.
So
It's like
I wouldn't listen to it as a full album because there are too many that I just don't want to sit through.
you're right. I think it's just like a generic album, really, isn't it? There's a few standout ones that are the big hits, and the rest are just kind of not album fillers, but album fillers. That's how I saw
Yeah,
it.
I think the thing with rap is I think raps are written for the performer, not for the
Yeah,
listener.
yeah,
And I think that the reason that LD gets a following that he does is uh, because they're written for the performer. You need to be able to relate to the performer's kind of lifestyle to enjoy the song. And so Lil Dicky is he's a middle class white American, and he's got lived a privileged life, and so for a lot of people where rap is traditionally comes from a place of disadvantage and poverty, it's not something that a lot of people can relate to. So
yeah,
Lil Dickies, they then oh yeah, I also pay my taxes and
yeah,
order Dominoes and stuff.
yeah. I think you're
So
right.
that's why he's so popular. I mean, and he's talented and he's funny with it.
Yeah,
So it gets that ironic kind of listen as well,
yeah,
which is but the obviously to him as a performer, and he obviously must has to really love rap to be a rapper.
mhm,
To him, that ironic side of it and the humorous side isn't the music he wants to make. So I'm sure that the songs that we like least on the album are probably his preferred because he writes his albums for him.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. But yeah, I think he's hit a very nice audience. Not as in
But it
like,
can just make it can just make for an unengaging
yeah,
tune
yeah,
if you don't relate to or care about the subject matter.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the same with any album, really. I thought it was an okay album. There's some tunes on there that I definitely listen to Molly again. I think I definitely listen to Professional Rapper again. But the others, they kind of just I just wouldn't ever come back to them. Which is Little Dicky's done something that no other rapper's ever done for me, and got me into any tunes that I could actually listen to and enjoy again. I think. So I think he's kind of hit a nice broad range of an audience where he's got people that are into rap, people that are into comedy, I suppose rap, whatever, and people like me who aren't really don't like rap, but they find his comedic side of it and the fact that he's not like other rappers in a traditional sense. He's kind of drawn us in that way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
What
suggested it
was your
though.
score?
I'd give it about a five. I think on average, a five, maybe
Okay.
four and a half.
That's high. 5 is higher than would have thought you were going to give it, so
Yeah, I
I'm
think
happy
that's
with that.
yeah, I think it's a good choice. I did enjoy listening to it.
Should we move on?
Yeah, let's move on to James Acaster's Repertoire, which was my choice for the films. And my God, it was long. We had a long, long list of things to watch this week because your album was like 2 hours, and then my film choice was like 4 hours. So the first one was Recognise, wasn't it? Um,
It was.
what do you think? Because this is the second time too you've watched it, I think.
Yes, it is. I had already listened, already watched Repertoire before, so my notes actually. It's difficult to review a comedy show when you're watching it for the second time.
Yeah.
Um, but so they're a little bit more just the stuff that I found funny.
Mm.
Um, so
I
for
think that's what mine
recognize,
is.
I've not written so much about the individual stuff on each show.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so uh, okay, so James Acaster as a comedian is hilarious. He's got such a distinct style of delivering his jokes, and the content of his jokes is so. If you read one, you'd be able to tell it was a James Acaster
Yeah.
joke.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're very
They're
correct.
so mundane, but also so surreal. I've just said that his is just so irreverent as a performer. It's so absurd.
Mm.
Um, the whole he started like the first 10 minutes of the show, he spends kneeling down just so that at the end of the 10 minutes he can make a joke about loopholes and the show not starting until he's standing up. And it's just so funny that just that thinking of him sat at home writing his
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
is almost the funniest thing about watching the show.
Yeah. I think you're right. The jokes always keep going through. They never cut off, do they? Like the
Yeah,
kneeling joke, whenever he kneels back down again, he clicks his little watch, doesn't he? And then when he stands back up,
yeah,
he clicks it. And jokes always keep coming back to jokes, and there's offshoots from jokes, and everything links through. It's not just a series of jokes and one-liners like say Tim Vine would do. They all interlinks and they all link back to each other, and you could easily find a path all the way through the whole show.
yeah. They're very. It's very. I don't like theatrical in a way. It's very much a performance rather than just him speaking through jokes. His delivery is so unique. The way that he just speaks and his body language throughout, and
Mm.
yeah, everything calls back. Um, and then even the last of the four is calling back to all the others.
It was amazing. I thought that was so smart. Which,
Basically, I guess you could say that the gist of his show is that he comes into it having invented an imaginary character, and he talks you through events in that character's life in a way.
yeah, yeah,
But he is that character. But in each show, it's a different character.
yeah, yeah. You're
But
right.
the characters that he creates and he fleshes them out throughout the show, and he kind of builds their world in a way. The
Mhm.
characters that he creates are the most absurd, ridiculous characters, but in the most mundane, boring
Yeah.
situations. And it's that contrast between the two that just I don't know what it is. It is just so watchable and
It's
so
like
so
a
funny.
yeah, it is really good. I do have a question about it though.
Yeah,
So when it comes back to the kind of the fourth episode, as it were, the recap, and it's got
yeah,
all the jokes from all the past three shows, but the audience gets it. So is it the same
yeah. I'm not
audience for the
sure.
whole four show,
I
or
mean,
what?
it can't be because they're,
No,
they're obviously on different days and stuff. But um,
unless it's like
I
a
don't know. I don't know how it
four-day
worked.
run. Because unless it's like one every day, and you buy one ticket, and that's for all 4 days, as it were.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because I couldn't find out anywhere what was going on, but it really confused me because everyone in recap got all the jokes in recognize, and
Yeah,
it blew my mind
I
a bit.
mean, in a way, they're the jokes are the way that he says them in
Make
recap.
them funny without,
They're
yeah.
still funny without the background. Funny enough, because I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to like a amateur stand-up show or anything like that. I
No,
went to one this week. I went to this Sunday. There was a festival here called
yeah,
well, it's like an arts festival, and there was some stand up there, and I went, and it's all student stuff,
yeah,
and it wasn't that great the stand up, but you're still laughing at it because you're there in person and it's
yeah,
the environment that you're in. So So watching a comedian as good as him live, you'll have been laughing all the way through. So it's almost every time he pauses, you're gonna laugh anyway because you're just in the mood to laugh.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right. I definitely prefer comedians live, but like watching stand up on Netflix, it's kind of
It doesn't even remotely come close to
no, no,
watching
no.
live.
Yeah,
But
because
he is still so funny.
he is absolutely amazing. He's so talented as well. I read somewhere, or I was told by someone at uni who I was talking with about James Acaster. And apparently he's got a music degree from Glasgow or something, so he's repping the big music boys as well. So it's pretty sick. It's weird though because there are people like him all through my life. There's someone at uni who's exactly like James Acaster, like exactly like him. The same mannerisms, the same kind of speech pattern, not the same voice or looks, but definitely very similar person, which is weird. It made the jokes too real for me. It scared me quite a bit, I think.
hmm So I gave the first one a 9.
Oh, I gave it an 8.
Uh, it's just my favorite. The favorite section from it is yeah, bananas is on this one, isn't it? The free banana. That's in the first one.
I haven't got it written down. Hang on.
I think it is,
I
and
think it
that
is.
is hilarious. It's so funny. It goes on for so long as a bit.
But it
Uh,
just, yeah.
the whole think you're too good for a free banana,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just so ridiculous. It's just so daft, and the funniest bits in each one are just the most daft part
Yeah,
of it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So yeah, free banana was my favorite bit in that one. It got a 9. Uh,
yeah. The whole Pat Springfield undercover cop thing was just great for me. I
yeah,
loved that so much. I thought it was, and I thought the bit at the end where he had his own little podcast, I thought that was really funny. I think that was my
I
favorite
thought it was
bit.
really funny as well. The second one was called Represent. It opened up with an almost like 15-minute long bit about the Chilean miners,
Oh yeah, the whole celebrity
which is just
gossip
so
thing.
daft.
It's
That's so
ridiculous.
daft. When was the Chilean mine collapse? That was like 2008 or something, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was so long ago. It's something that you wouldn't you haven't thought about since. You've thought, oh great, they've got out alive,
2010.
and then that's it. You've never thought about
I
it
happened
again.
8 years ago, and it was just a little bit, and they were so it was so overblown by the media at the time, and they were interviewing everyone. It was reported on for like a week straight, solidly, and then never heard from again. And he must have just seen that, and I don't know, maybe seen the way that people were treating them like celebrities in that week, and
And
just
then
thought,
he's treated them as celebrities
yeah,
ever since.
it's just so crazy that he
It's
would write in
so funny.
2018 a bit that long about an event in 2010.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's great. 'Cause no one else
It's
does
so
that.
funny. But my favorite part of this episode was the fable of the sloth and
The
the
goose or whatever, the sloth of the
goose.
goose. Yeah, that was good.
That little section, that story, is the perfect example of absurd humor. It's
Yeah,
exactly what it is in a nutshell. That is James Acaster's style.
yeah.
It's like a Spike Milligan poem or something. It's just every line is dafter than the previous line and just makes no sense.
But not in too much of an absurd way that
But
it
not just
doesn't.
that, like, yeah, I'm so random.
Yeah. It does it nicely. So it really hits the Goldilocks zone, as it were. I think it was really cool.
Yeah,
I liked the interaction with the audience. There was a guy called John, and the way that
yeah,
James Acaster kind of talks to the audience is so different to all the other comedians. Like you've got Jimmy Carr who just basically just if someone heckles, he shoots them down. That's it. But James Acaster kind of builds up like a relationship with an audience member, and is not gentle with them, but kind of like in his own style, he manages to put them in their place, but do it in a funny way. You know what I mean? I
yeah.
really liked it. I thought he deals with the audience really well. I give this a 7.5 though, which is down from my 8.
Yeah, I gave this one slightly lower. I thought overall it was more funny at its like average level, but there wasn't any individual bits which were as
Yeah,
funny
yeah,
as anything in the others.
yeah. I think you're right. I agree.
Although Reset, I gave the lowest score.
Same. I gave Reset the lowest, but only going
I
down
gave it
from.
a seven.
Yeah, I gave it a seven,
It's still a high score, um,
but not the
but it just
highest.
wasn't
This was the Reset was the one where it's I've heard most of that stuff before. Like I've
right.
heard a lot
Okay.
of that James Acaster stuff before. The others were completely new to me, but the Reset I'd heard a lot of.
Yeah, I think it's very funny. I think it is very funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Just compared to the others, there's nothing as standout. The
No,
if it was just its own show, then it would probably get a higher score. Honestly, if it's just on its
yeah,
own,
but because it's in
then I would have
comparison with.
given the experience probably like an 8 or a 9. But
Yeah,
compared to the others, it's not as good as them.
yeah,
But the stuff that he talks about is funny. The whole Brexit,
yeah. The EU
um,
joke was with the tea
the like
bag and
Brexit
stuff.
teabag thing. It's very funny, very clever. The honey racket is probably my favourite part, with them selling their own honey to the supermarket, then buying it
Yeah,
off them and selling it back because supermarkets sell honey at a loss. That was really really funny. But again, he just drags it on for so long that you'd almost think it would completely die, but it just consistently remains funny.
yeah. It just does, doesn't it? Yeah, that was a standout joke. I think the EU joke was really standout. I think in this episode as well, I kind of realised how self-aware James Acaster was. Who's much more self-aware in this one than he was in the others. Like he kept saying stuff like, "Oh, I don't know why I showed off about that." You know what I mean? It was,
Hmm.
but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, but it did feel like more of a stand-up act that I'd seen before.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that's probably the most traditional stand up of them all.
yeah. Then moving on to recap. This is the
I
last
gave
one.
Recap a 10.
Really, holy crap! Wow, I gave it an eight. I
10 points.
I thought you said like a 10.5 there, but you said 10 points. I was like, wow, bit high. Yeah,
The bread research bit
that was good.
is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah,
The just the bit on its own is funny, is like 8 out of 10 funny, and then when he goes through it all again with
yeah,
gluten-free bread, that is devastatingly funny.
yeah. I like how he made a reference to it at the end with his little wooden duck. That's what
Yeah,
I
with the
like.
wooden duck, then the callback again.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
The Kettering Town FC
That was
song is just
so
hilarious.
good.
It's so funny. And no, I wouldn't watch. I can't think of any other comedian who would be able to make watching him sing K and an E and a T and a T, E and an R and an ING over and over again, taking out a letter each time. It was like a 5 minute bit of him just doing
Yeah,
that. There was no other joke to it. It was just that joke.
I thought it was
And it
great.
was still funny at the end. It was so funny. And I can't think of a single other comedian who could
Yeah,
do
you
something
you
like
you
that.
wouldn't catch like Jimmy Carr or Jack Whitehall doing that stuff. It's just it's
Even
the
like
absurd
musical
comedy,
comedians
like
would
Nick
do
Helm.
more to it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just so funny. It's his delivery, his style is so weird and
but
off-putting.
it's so normal though at the same time.
Yeah,
I think that's
I think the best.
emphasized by the clothes and the background and the whole color scheme
Yeah,
that was
he's
in each
wearing
one.
very unique kind of tweedy or velvety
But
jackets and stuff like
yeah,
that.
but if you saw that person out and about, you'd kind of just be like, oh, okay, it'd just be a normal guy. It's weird. I like it though. I like it a lot. I like his style.
I think the bit in the free bananas bit where he's saying of what he'd do to the girl who worked in Pret a Manger,
Yeah,
and at the punchline where he's like, but I didn't say who they're free to. And his delivery of that, he's got that huge pause where he just looks so excited to
yeah.
get her and to lay the smack down on that horrible Pret a Manger woman.
It's not like a normal villain of a comedy joke either. It's just like a woman
Yeah,
doing the job.
yeah. It was just, I mean, my favourite thing about it is almost from a performing point of view. For me, is just the how clever he has to be to write that material.
Yeah, and then make it all work all the way through.
Make
It's
it all work all
ridiculous.
the way through. There's not really a dropped joke, to be honest. I can't think of almost a single line. His delivery has a tendency to kind of repeat stuff, maybe slightly too often, like when he's actually at the punchline. But I don't know. I think it works in context with everything. Uh,
I liked it. I think there was I can remember one joke which I was kind of like, oh dear. It was a joke about but it was a joke about baker's dozen, wasn't it? And he was like, only 13 people out of 12 know what a baker's dozen was, and I was like, oh okay, good one, well done. I just yeah, that
that
was
was a funny
more.
one though.
It was yeah, but after all the rest of the James Acaster stuff,
But it was kind of setting up that it was one of the early jokes in the whole bread
yeah. It was
thing, so it
right at
was
the beginning.
setting up where he was going with that.
Yeah.
So even though on its own it is a weaker joke and it is a bit more of just a dud pun in a way, it works in the context with everything. The weirdest bit to me that I just didn't get at all was when he at the end of Reset just played Old Lang Syne on a theremin.
Yeah, that was
I just didn't
weird.
really know where that came from. I
No,
didn't know what the punchline was. Uh,
I liked how he kept messing it up as well. That was my favorite bit.
yeah, it was just a bit odd.
I think it added.
But yeah, for the whole thing for repertoire in total, I mean, probably like a 9.5
Yeah, I definitely give it
is to be the
an
score
eight.
I would give it. It is really funny. It's the funniest. I think he's probably the funniest stand-up I've ever seen. I don't know. I don't really know what he's like on panel shows and stuff because I've not seen him on too many.
Oh, yeah,
But
that's a good point. I've not seen him on any. I've seen him on
I think
live at the
he's been
Apollo
on
and
Mock the
stuff.
Week, and I
Yeah,
think he's been on 8 out of 10 Cats.
yeah, it would have been. It seems more like the sort that'd be on Have I Got News for You and stuff. I could see him on there.
But yeah, really very funny.
Was it still as funny the second time around, do you think?
Um, well, I mean, I I had to watch them all four in kind of 2 days really, just because of the way my timings worked out, and it's 4 hours of stand up. It's difficult,
Yeah,
even no
yeah,
matter
yeah.
how funny it is. So I definitely enjoyed it through the first time where I was watching one like every 3 or 4 days. But it was still really very funny.
I'd
Uh,
probably forget all the characters when if I do like one every 3 days. I'd forget who Pat Springfield was. I'd forget who
well,
Lawrence
it's
was.
not it's not really that important who Pat Springleaf is though.
No, but I like see. I forgot his name. Oh my god. I know. I liked knowing who they were. I liked that whole side of the jokes, especially Lawrence. Oh, it was good. I'm really
It
glad I
was
chose him.
definitely very very funny.
Yeah.
It comes with a hearty recommendation.
Hearty. Wow. That's a bit more than a lot of recommendation. Should we move on to what we've chosen for next week, which we'll actually try and do next week?
Yeah, okay, so I'm choosing the film this time, and I've been told by my flatmate that I have to watch this film on Netflix by Will, and he said he wants me to watch it not knowing anything about it, and because he really wants to discuss it with me, and he watched it recently not knowing anything about it and really loved it. He watched it with his girlfriend. It's called Cargo, Cargo, and it's got Martin Freeman in, I believe.
Well, we can't discuss it because we know literally nothing about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's got Martin Freeman in. It says it's a zombie horror film.
I think I've seen it on Netflix.
It's set in Australia. That's all I know. So that's the film that I'm recommending. Cargo.
Cargo. Okay, my album. I was, I, d- I was told by many people that I wasn't allowed to choose a jazz album this time, and that I had
I was going to
to
tell you that you weren't if you did.
choose something else. So I was thinking, oh, Jesus Christ, are you okay? Yeah, my album's is by ELO, Electric Light Orchestra. It's called Out of the Blue or Out from the Blue. I think it's Out of the Blue. Um, it's just the best. It's not like a best of album, but it is the best ELO album, and I really like it. I think you should listen to it. And it's not jazz.
What's it called? Light
Out of
from the Blue.
Out of the Blue.
Out of the Blue.
But next week,
Is it on Spotify?
it is on Spotify. I have just checked, but there will be jazz next time we choose an album. I'll do it
Oh yeah, I've got
one
it.
every two, as opposed to one every one.
Okay.
But I think that sums it up.
Okie dokie. 1977, another oldie.
It is another oldie.
God, you're such a granddad, James.
What?
This album came out the same year as Star Wars,
Really? Star Wars came out then?
77.
Wow. That's actually quite a long time ago.
Have you got any closing remarks that you want to make?
Not really.
Oh, I want to say, just because I think it's nice to stay to kind of keep people abreast on what we're doing as a podcast and where we plan to go. I'd like to say that currently, because I've been looking into getting World on a String hosted on iTunes and on podcast apps and stuff like that. And the position we're in at the moment is that you need an RSS feed to do that, and to host the podcast onto a service that would give us an RSS feed. You can do it on WordPress, you can do it on various websites like Libsyn, but they all have a monthly subscription fee of about £6-7, and I just don't think yet we're at the point,
No.
commitment wise or knowledge of what we want out of Words on a String to do that yet. So for the probably the next kind of couple of months, about 10 episodes or so, we'll just be uploading them onto YouTube and sharing them on our Twitter and our Facebook.
Yeah.
And then probably around episode 10 or so, we'll reevaluate and see if we are at a stage where we're willing to put money into the podcast.
When we get sponsored by Audible, I think that's when we'll do it.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to World on a String. You can find us on Twitter at WOASPod or on Facebook.
World on a String is hosted by James Curgenven and Tom Joshi-Cale, and you can find me on Twitter at James Curgenven.
And you can find me at Ace Torterra1. All music on the show is original music by James Curgenven.